Shaquille O'Neal looks like a regular guy. However, he's a financial genius disguised as a basketball player. While 60% of NBA players end up broke, this guy has accumulated $400 million. Want to know the crazy thing he did to achieve this? Rejecting $40 million from Reebok as a rookie. Was he out of his mind? No, he had a vision that only he could see. One day a mother told him, "Your shoes are great, but there's no way I can afford them." And boom, Shaq created his own line for less than $20. He sold more than 120 million pairs since then. That's almost one pair for every person in Mexico. Crazy, right? But not every story ends in a win like this. Allen Iverson earned $200 million in his career, but ended up so poor that he couldn't even afford a $40 hamburger. His friends had to pull out their wallets for him. So, how the hell did this happen? I'll just say this: spending millions on parties and jewelry is not a good idea. Iverson supported 50 people, gambled like there was no tomorrow, and had such a heavy alcohol addiction that he couldn't even stay sober for practice. He treated his bank account as if it were infinite, until the cashier said, "Sir, your card's not working." Then he realized the money was gone. Today his net worth is about $1 million. Sounds decent until you realize that the average house in North America costs nearly half of that. Compare this with Michael Jordan's story. He didn't become the richest player by just making baskets. His master move was the Jordan brand with Nike, which gives him $150 million a year for doing exactly nothing. Did you know that Nike initially offered him only $500,000 per year, and Adidas rejected him for being too low? Right now, there's an Adidas executive who's still crying in fetal position under his desk. You've probably seen those videos of Delonte West begging on the streets, barefoot and destroyed. But how could someone who earned $16 million end up like that? Bipolar disorder and drugs dragged him into the abyss. The situation was so terrible that Mark Cuban had to pick him up personally from a gas station to take him to rehab. If that's not hitting rock bottom, I don't know what is. Speaking of financial beasts, King LeBron knows how to make money. He put $6.5 million into Liverpool FC, and now that investment is worth over $90 million. However, not everyone knows that when he was just 18 years old, he rejected $10 million from Reebok. A month later, Nike offered him $90 million. Today, his Nike contract is worth more than $1 billion. This guy's playing on easy mode, but not every player who turned down big money ended up like him. Latrell Sprewell rejected $21 million for 3 years, saying, "I have a family to feed." Brother, with $21 million, you can feed an entire city. Then, his family watched as his house and yacht were taken away, and he ended up in a crappy apartment. If he could travel back in time, he would scream at himself, "Sign the damn contract, idiot!" However, the next story is unlike anything you've seen before. Junior Bridgman was a guy who earned only $350,000 in the 80s. While everyone was buying watches, this genius worked at Wendy's during the summer to learn the business. Before he passed away in 2025, he owned 450 restaurants and had built a net worth over $1.4 billion. It's like if the quiet nerd from high school ended up running Google. But Antoine Walker wasn't so smart. He earned $108 million, and now he doesn't even have money for gum. His technique? Supporting 70 people. 70! What was he, the king of a small country? He had 20 luxury cars, suits he wore once, and lost $646,900 in one night of poker. Walker played with his money like it was Monopoly, and that's how he ended up. Want to know who did invest his money wisely? Magic Johnson. This guy wasn't content with being a legend. He built his empire from the ground up. He's co-owner of the Dodgers and has investments in movie theater chains, Burger King, Starbucks, whatever you can imagine. His fortune? $1,200 million. He's earned more cash after retiring than during his time as a player. But not all players had a happy ending. Eddie Curry earned $70 million, but ended up owing a fortune with an interest rate of 85%. 85! Who did he borrow from? The Godfather? From having 19 cars and 12 houses to being unable to afford a plane ticket to see his children. Dude spent money like his bank account had cheat codes. But when the game updated, he got caught with nothing. However, you know who the game didn't catch unprepared? Kawhi. He has contracts worth $150 million, but drives a 1997 Chevy Tahoe and uses coupons at restaurants. I'm not joking. This guy uses coupons, having more money than my entire family tree combined. His philosophy? Just because I can buy something doesn't mean I should. He's a smart guy. But Jason Caffey, well, his motto might have been, just because I can have kids doesn't mean I should. He earned $35 million, but squandered it on 10 children with 8 different women. Child support cases hit him so hard, he ended up getting arrested for owing $200,000. Bro, condoms are way cheaper than this mess. It's basic math. But hey, I bet $100 you won't guess what the next player decided to invest in. Rick Fox was already networking in Hollywood while playing. Today, he's an actor and producer. His biggest flex? He invested in Uber when nobody knew what it was. Guess how much money he has today? More than 20 million. Speaking of legends, do you know who was a money-making machine in the 90s? Dennis Rodman. But today, he barely has enough for the bus. What happened? Endless parties, wilder than The Hangover, oceans of alcohol, and financial decisions of someone who just received a blow to the head. This guy broke his you-know-what 3 times. 3 times! It's a miracle he's still with us. Still, I love this dude. He's hilarious. In the end, he ended up owing $800,000 in child support and $50,000 in rent. Compare this story with Vince Carter's. He played 22 seasons and earned $180 million, but never wanted to live like a king. While his teammates were buying mansions, he was renting a normal apartment. His motto, live like you're going to play for 10 years, but invest like you're going to retire tomorrow. My motto, subscribe to my channel, or I'll make you watch me cry. Gilbert Arenas signed a mind-blowing $111 million contract with the Wizards. But before that, he nearly went broke. As a second-round rookie making $330,000 with the Warriors, Arenas blew most of his first paycheck on a chain and an Escalade. So he was forced to live on just $400 a month. That tiny budget had to cover rent, gas, 2 dogs, and a girlfriend. But the second that $111 million hit his account, he flipped the switch. Lavish parties, a garage packed with cars, and legal battles that cost him millions. He burned through 93% of his fortune, crashing from $160 million down to just $10 million. Luckily, the next player knew way better what he was doing. Grant Hill studied at Duke, and it showed. From the moment he started playing, he was already investing in real estate as if it were a game of Monopoly. Today, he's co-owner of the Hawks and has a net worth over $250 million. His advice? Never sign anything without reading it 3 times. 3 times. Most players don't even read it once. But the next guy, he did. Vinnie Johnson, nicknamed the Microwave, went from heating the hoop to heating the American economy. After he retired, he started Piston Group, a company pulling in over $3 billion a year and employing more than 11,000 people. That's insane. But while Vinnie Johnson was making millions, Tony Batty was being scammed. He lent $200,000 to his teammate Jameer Nelson. The problem? Jameer never asked him for that money. Nelson's girlfriend forged his signature to get the loan. When it was all discovered, the money had already disappeared. Moral of the story, before lending $200K, make sure you're talking to the right person, not just random middlemen. Some players, however, had it much harder, like Shawn Kemp, the Rain Man. He went from raining 3-pointers to having problems rain down on him, including losing almost all his money and falling into addiction. But here's the twist. Now he owns a legal cannabis store in Seattle that's making millions, from using the product to running the business. That's a total 180. Scottie Pippen, a 6-time champion with the Bulls, signed one of the worst contracts in history, $18 million for 7 years, when he was already a star. While Jordan was earning $30 million per season, Pippen was receiving barely $2.5. It's like your best friend earning 12 times more than you for doing the same job. Desperate, he made disastrous investments, losing millions on a private jet that didn't even fly well, and on dealerships that sold air. From being Robin to not even being in the Batmobile. But the next player on our list didn't even have to try hard to live well. Juancho Hernan Gomez scored 47 points in the entire 2022 season and was paid $6.6 million for it. That's $140,000 per point. The guy basically robbed his team of their salary, turning doing nothing and getting paid millions into an art. Adam Sandler literally gave him more minutes in Hustle than the Celtics did in real life. Now he plays in Greece, where he's probably still getting paid like he's LeBron, while scoring fewer points than I do playing NBA 2K with my feet. It's insane. But nothing's crazier than Dwayne Wade's finances. He was close to bankruptcy during the early years of his career. His monthly expenses? $120,000. That's about what a doctor makes in 5 years. When he reviewed his finances, he almost had a heart attack. He was paying his ex as if she were the Queen of England, keeping his parents in mansions, giving cars to his friends like candy, and financing family businesses. More broken than my knees after a basketball game with my 7-year-old nephew. Fortunately, LeBron sat him down and said, "Bro, you're on your way to selling your kidney on the black market." So he made him get his act together real quick, or else he'd be out begging. Crazy that he still had millions left to come back from. Subscribe for more.